Have you ever wondered why, in so many situations, the people who seem the most selfish, manipulative, or self-serving are the ones who end up in positions of power? Maybe you've seen it at work, the colleague who takes credit for others. Ideas, or in politics, business, and even social circles. It's frustrating, and it makes you question if playing fair is really worth it. In this video, we're going to break down the hidden dynamics that push selfish people to the top. From psychological traits to social structures that unknowingly reward this kind of behavior. More importantly, you'll see how understanding these patterns can protect you from being taken advantage of, and even help you turn the game in your favor without compromising your values. If you've ever felt overlooked while someone less deserving got the spotlight, or if you've been frustrated watching arrogant people succeed, this video will change the way you see power, success, and human behavior. By the end, you'll not only understand why it happens, but also learn strategies to rise above it ethically, intelligently, and effectively. Some people grow up believing that doing everything the right way guarantees success. But when they step into the real world, they see a strange truth. The science of the success of the bad guys often plays out right in front of them. The ruthless coworker who cuts corners gets the promotion first. The aggressive business competitor takes over the market faster. It feels unfair, and in many ways, it is. But competitive environments, especially where opportunities are scarce, reward speed, risk-taking, and a willingness to push boundaries that most moral people hesitate to cross. In these situations, hesitation becomes a hidden tax on success. While the honest professional is carefully double-checking every detail, the less scrupulous player is already shaking hands, closing deals, and securing influence. This isn't to say their victory is built on solid ground, it rarely is, but it's enough to get them ahead in the short term. That's the uncomfortable truth about the science of the success of the bad guys. In the race for resources, moral restraint can be a speed bump, while bold exploitation becomes a shortcut. Imagine two people starting a small business. One follows every regulation to the letter, investing time and money to ensure compliance. The other cuts a few minor corners, skips some red tape, and launches twice as fast. Who gains traction first? Often, it's the one willing to bend the rules. It's an ugly advantage, but it's real, and understanding this reality is the first step to playing the game more intelligently without losing your integrity. And that brings us to an even deeper question. What's really driving the way good and bad are defined in the first place? Nietzsche had a provocative way of turning morality on its head. He argued that what we call good depends on who's doing the defining. For the strong and ambitious, good means power, achievement, and the will to rise above. For the oppressed, good becomes humility, patience, and endurance. This clash of values lies at the heart of the science of the success of the bad guys. When strength and self-interest are seen as virtues by those in power, they naturally create systems that reward exactly those traits. Think about it in a corporate boardroom. The leader who pushes aggressively for expansion, even at the expense of employee well-being, might be celebrated as visionary. Meanwhile, the humble team player who prioritizes harmony and fairness can be overlooked, even though they hold the team together. It's not that humility has no value. It's that in a system built on master morality, it rarely sits at the top of the reward ladder. And so, the cycle repeats. Ambition gets the throne, humility gets the sidelines. This is why the science of the success of the bad guys is so deeply rooted in cultural and historical norms. Those with power get to set the rules, and the rules often serve their own values. If you're operating with slave morality in a master morality world, you're playing with a handicap. The trick isn't to abandon integrity, it's to learn how to adapt your strengths so they can survive and even thrive in an environment designed by those who see the world differently. But that leads to an even more daring idea. What if someone could rise above both systems entirely? Nietzsche's idea of the Übermensch is often misunderstood as some kind of ruthless conqueror. In reality, it's the opposite. The Übermensch is someone who rises above both the weakness of blind submission and the emptiness of pure domination. In the science of the success of the bad guys, the Übermensch plays a different game entirely. He doesn't just win. He redefines what winning means. His power comes not from crushing others, but from mastering himself so completely that external approval becomes irrelevant. Picture someone in business who doesn't chase every deal just for the profit, but chooses projects that align with their personal vision, even if they take longer to pay off. They don't need to play dirty because their creativity and discipline give them an edge that's sustainable. This is the Übermensch in action, strong enough to lead without oppression, and wise enough to refuse the cheap satisfaction of exploitation. It's a rare balance, and it's why those who embody it often leave a legacy far beyond their own lifetime. In many ways, the Übermensch is the antidote to both the manipulator and the martyr. He takes the ambition celebrated in master morality, the empathy cherished in slave morality, and fuses them into something greater. In a world where the science of the success of the bad guys seems to dominate, this figure proves there's another path, one that allows for strength without cruelty and vision without vanity. The real question is, how does someone begin walking that path in their own life? Now that you've seen how the science of the success of the bad guys plays out, the real question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Will you keep playing by rules that keep you stuck? Or will you learn how to navigate the system without selling your soul? Remember, power isn't just about stepping over others. It's about knowing when to stand firm, when to adapt, and when to create your own rules entirely. Think about your own life right now. Where are you holding back out of fear, hesitation, or the belief that good things come to those who wait? And what would happen if instead you acted with strategic courage, making moves that are both bold and aligned with your values? The balance between strength and integrity isn't a fantasy, it's a skill. But it's a skill only for those willing to unlearn what's been holding them down. So I'll leave you with this. Are you ready to rise in a world that rewards the bold without becoming the very thing you dislike? If this video gave you clarity, then subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and keep learning how to outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast while staying true to who you are. The next step is yours.